Good afternoon. Welcome to the October 10th meeting of the Rotary Club of Milledgeville. Please stand, silence your cell phones, and I have no idea who's Rotarian of the day. I am. Ah, thank you. I'm sorry, I just realized I had a little.
That's okay. I thought in light of all that's happened in the world, in many different areas, not just the hurricanes, but in just the world, I thought it'd be fitting if we all just pray together today, and I'd like you all to pray the Lord's Prayer with me. So if you'll bow your heads and there. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thanks, power, glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you all. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. And a four-way test of the things you can't say or do. First, is it true? Second, it's fair all concerned. Third, build goodwill and friendships will be beneficial to all concerned.
And fifth, thank you. Good deal. Thank you, Terry. All right, as you sit down, please remember the cart buckets. Empty out your spare change, please. William, are you doing raffle? Excellent.
I've been down to Sergeant Arms once. This last week. So I forgot I'm Sergeant Arms. Jay rebuked me heavily for that.
He should.
We have a couple guests. Jason, would you introduce your guest, please?
Sure, not a problem. My lovely wife Stella with me today.
And Lynn China, would you introduce your guest? Good, you talk. We'd like to welcome back Nolan.
Yeah.
Y'all don't remember what Nolan looks like? And new member, returning member, Jack. And I think you have a flag. Would you want to say something about that?
So my family and I were in France, and we spent a week in Paris. And we did a barge cruise down the Loire Valley. And this one evening, the captain of the barge took us to the dinner at this Michelin restaurant. I can't tell you where we were, except it was one of the Relais Chateau hotels. And I noticed they were having a Rotary meeting. And I went to the captain, who's bilingual, and I said, I'm a Rotarian, and I'd like to go in and say hello. And so we walked in, and the president came over, and the captain explained that we were from the States, and they asked me to introduce myself to the members. Anyway, as I was done, they gave me this flag.
Very cool.
On a side note, you know, some of y'all are aware that when Trump won the presidency in 2016, I was vetted and I was a finalist to be named ambassador to Israel. For whatever reason, Israeli leadership keeps me informed weekly and daily what's happening in Israel and why. So if y'all ever decide y'all are interested and want to know, I'm glad to speak and tell you why things are the way they are. And what.
Good. Good to know. Thank you, Jack.
He gets 3 makeups for that, right?
Absolutely.
All right,
Fair.
for the 50-50, we had 271. We had a $24. And some lucky person's going to win $295. Maybe. I don't think we put the queen in there. Yeah. We got $5 on it.
There you go.
Ticket number 274-5748.
5748.
5748. Okay, we're going again.
That's what you get.
Oh my God.
Hey, you should buy one.
All right.
All right. And what?
Now, why'd you go ahead and give him the $10? You're implying he's not gonna win.
I'm gonna put it in there. King of Diamonds.
Okay, cool.
Quick update, I'm here on,
Yeah.
fair stuff, help plug out Jimmy Eubanks. I think we announced last week, and in rehab in Putnam, in their swing bag unit. I went and saw him. He looked real good, he's doing well, he's doing rehab. They got him up walking and stuff, and, talked with Jeff talked to him yesterday, and said he may get out today, so
Oh,
I think they're gonna kick him out. He only get 2 weeks of that, so.
all right, thank you, William. All right, community announcements. Aaron, you had something?
Yeah, I do. I just want to let y'all all know, our company Marketing Georgia has teamed up with, 12 other businesses, and we are hosting the first ever rubber duck hunt in Milledgeville. So we will be finding 1,100, not Milledgeville, Middle Georgia, sorry. So these businesses will be finding 1,100 ducks throughout Milledgeville, Gray, Eatonton, those areas. If you watch our pages on Facebook, they give clues where they're gonna be. This goes from October 14th today through December 14th, so it goes for approximately 2 months. And, you have to register your duck when you find it, and the grand prize is $1,000. The second place is 500, and the third place is 100. So be on the lookout for random ducks around town. Well, if you go to rubberduck.com, you can see them, but they're all different ducks. We have a plumber duck, we have a exchange bank duck, a banker duck, and we have what other ducks do we have?
Do the Baker Ducks have money in them?
They do.
Nice.
Gold bar.
Sleep in the vault, so gold.
We
Nice.
have a duck in a boat, we have a duck in a car, we have a fresh pet. So they're all kinds of stuff. A lot of fun
Very
little
cool.
things.
Very cool. Thank you,
Are
Aaron.
you gonna talk about this?
Yes.
Right. Yep.
Okay. All right, so there's a lot of stuff going on around town. I believe this evening is Chambers Member Appreciation Event at Adams Acres. And then tonight at Lockerly, you can bring your kiddos out to Art in the Park. So this is a partnership between Lockerly and Allied Arts, and Rebecca's not here. You know, we just got our first ever outdoor art installation at Lockerly. And Allied Arts will be running programs for children on Thursday nights in the month of October. So one, you need to come see the sculptures. They're absolutely awesome and fun. Two, they're really fun because they're very tall. They cast long shadows. So like some of the activities the kids might do tonight is if they cast a shadow across the roadway, we'll have sidewalk chalk and they can trace outlines or butcher paper. Or we'll have pipe cleaners and you can recreate your own little sculpture based on using pipe cleaners. So that's tonight. There's flyers on the tables to tell you which dates we are doing that. The one off Thursday that we're not doing Art in the Park is the night we're doing Wine in the Woods. If you liked Wine in the Woods and you want to come to one, you better come to this one because it's probably going to be the last one we do for a while. But Joey Waddell is sponsoring this one, and he chose employees and alum of Georgia Military College to be the special guest group that can come for $10, 15 for Lockerly members, 30 for non-members. So I highly recommend that you come. You will get a chance to see the art. We'll have a big people mover being pulled by a tractor, so it'll be like a hayride through Lockerly and see the art with a glass of wine. I mean, why wouldn't you want to come to that? So cool. Question, Aaron. Oh, crap. Does it say November? Son of a hooch. Thank you. All right. Oh, boy. Thank you. All right. I'm not on the board anymore. I don't know if there's any club business to talk about. Herschel?
I was asked to make a mention, to remember that October 24th is World Polio Day. there's gonna be, I know there are several things, as far as Rotary International is concerned going on. I know different clubs have different things planned. They have, projects, they have, fundraisers and all that kind of stuff and everything that they have planned going on. Just gonna let you know, I know leadership training is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on that weekend, and they are having they got a link that you can go on and watch the meeting that they're doing for World Polio Day. They got a bunch of big speakers and everything. The president of Rotary is gonna be speaking, different members like that, but just keep that in mind. If you'd like to donate to Polio Plus, just see me. I mean, that would be something that we could do. They actually have a designation this year for clubs that donate $1,500 or more. There's a special designation that they come up with and a certificate and all that. You can get that club
Wow.
can actually get recognition and all that. So that's something to think about. But if you'd like to donate to that, that's fine. Just a quick update on our annual fund giving. We are actually over $5,000 now. If you'd like to see where you're at with that, I've got all that information. Need any help donating to that or whatever, I'd be glad to help you. Easiest way is to go online to my Rotary. To do it that way, that would be the easiest way to do it. But I don't mind sending a check in for you, doing all the paperwork and everything. As far as I got, that's about it.
Cool.
Can
What?
we did have club business. We
Okay.
have a fundraiser going on, for early learning, not a fundraiser, but a candy drive. And so, as of right now, I have 4 bags of candy, so we're still in dire need of candy because we need 3,000 pieces of candy for the early learning center. So please bring candy next week or bring it by my office. We want to make sure those kids get all the candy that they need. And
Send them home.
Yep.
And then send them home.
Yep.
I send them home, that's right.
Yep.
And
Check
then,
sugar.
don't forget your raffle tickets. Has everybody picked up their raffle tickets? No, so if you have not picked up your raffle tickets, please pick Joy. You wanna add to that? No? Okay. But make sure, we started early, let's finish early, so get your raffle tickets.
Here. If anyone's interested, the North Macon Rotary Club is doing a Boston butt sale fundraiser for their club right now. It's really easy. You can, Dana Park that was here that spoke a couple of months ago, she's in that club. I just Venmo'd her the payment and she sent me the ticket. It was super simple. So if you want a Boston butt, you can do that. Anything else? Okay, well, it's my distinct privilege to get to introduce Rebecca Snyder as our speaker today. She needs no introduction, especially to this group, but she's going to tell us the state of tourism in Milledgeville and Baldwin County.
Good afternoon, guys. Thank you all so much for giving me some of your time today. Here we go. Just a moment as we get this pulled up. And Greg and Jennifer, thank y'all for being good troopers. This is 2 times Rebecca in 1 week. I appreciate it. Okay, so earlier this week, Visit Milledgeville had our annual meeting. And if you don't know who we are as an organization, we operate and do business under the official name of the Milledgeville Baldwin County Convention and Visitors Bureau, but we call ourselves Visit Milledgeville. It's a lot shorter and it's a lot easier to understand really what our mission is. But we have been serving this community since the 1980s. We own a contract with both the City of Milledgeville as well as Baldwin County. And we receive hotel motel tax funds in the community. And we use those funds as legislated by the state of Georgia for the marketing and promotion of tourism in our community. So we partner with over 200 businesses each year to be able to do that. Let's talk really quickly about what economic impact looks like here in Baldwin County. As it relates to the hospitality community, we have 84.9, almost $85 million of economic impact in this community, driven just by the hospitality industry. It employs more than 900 jobs in this community. And it also offsets our own local taxes as residents. That's why we invest in this economic opportunity, is really to offset the tax costs for our property owners. When we look at 2023 and how we performed, 2023 was the best year Baldwin County had ever seen. Post COVID, travel demand was really at its peak. And then with inflationary pricing really being at its peak, we had the best year we'd ever had. To just kind of share a little bit with you, I have been in my position now for 6 years, but when I first joined on at the CVB, we had about $500,000. We now have over $1 million a year in terms of just the hotel motel tax generated in our office. It has been a substantial gain over the last 6 years. With that, we look really hard at how our hotel performance is operating, because of course that's where we're earning our own revenue from. And with that, we really see that economic stabilization is happening within our community. So we saw that where the past few years demand had really been surging, even in 2019. We see that has really flattened off, but what we still see rising is going to actually be the average daily room rate for hotels. And again, we have inflation to thank for that. You know, a lot of it was driven up initially by demand. As demand grew, you saw pricing grow, but really now we're really kind of in that inflation space. So as we kind of watch what's happening with economic headwinds, and as we just kind of listen to where economic projections are headed, we do expect decline to happen in our market. That is very normal for mid-scale markets. Our market is not a luxury market or an upscale market like destinations like Savannah or Charleston that will kind of ride this tide on the high wave. We do know that there will be some softening of demand and some softening of rate. But again, we're really looking at the fact that we have hit historic highs. At some point, this high did have to soften. So we're not scared for that, but we are thinking very much in our office about how do we stay recession proof. Our community, when it comes to hospitality, is very strongly based in corporate travel. And because of that, we have been pretty recession proof in the past. So we feel good about where we're headed. We're just cautiously optimistic. Our community has also spent a lot of time recently talking about short-term vacation rental and what that looks like. Over the last few years, we have really outpaced national growth averages when it came to short-term vacation rental. Our office uses a data firm that helps us to kind of understand how many properties are actively in Baldwin County. We believe that to be around 80 properties. If you go on to something like Airbnb or Vrbo, and you Google the area, it's going to pull a lot of properties that also might be Hancock County or might also be Putnam County. It's really hard to get a very keyed in metric. That's why we use a data firm. We do a lot of specific research to knowing where these properties are actually located. But we see the properties that we do have here are occupied only about 40% of the time. So it's very seasonally based. During the summertime, we know short-term vacation rental is going to do very well in our community. But as we enter cooler and cooler months, we know that demand is certainly going to lessen. But right now, the average daily rate is really good in this space. We see more than $222 per night is the average. So there's lots of room for growth in demand, but also lots of room for growth and investment. One of the interesting things coming out of COVID, we knew in 2019 that our market was actually declining business because we were so busy. And that's not good. We don't want to be in a position where we're declining business. We want to be growing our capacity so that we can welcome more business. So enter 2020, and of course that was a reset for all of us, but really in the years post-pandemic, we've seen that this has even become a stronger trend in our community, that business is being displaced to Greensboro, business is being displaced to Macon. And with that, our office really recognized that we had the opportunity to invest in a lodging feasibility study, a market study to understand what was demand in this community and what could our market bear, because we don't want to destabilize our market. We want it to stay successful. We want it to stay strong, but we wanted to know how many more rooms could we have. We currently have about 680. And we're proud to say we partnered with HVS, which is based out of Atlanta, but I mean, they are a globally renowned hospitality organization. And they came back and they said, you definitely are outperforming what is a healthy average. You guys need more rooms. So we are pleased to know that not only do we need more rooms, but we need more rooms that actually are in the upscale segment. Like I said before, and I'm sure many of you know, if you have family members coming into town, you know, we have the Hampton, we have the Holiday Inn, we have the Fairfield Marriott, but we don't really have anything that's outside of that mid-scale market. And we really desperately need something that's outside of that mid-scale market. We know that Georgia College and State University has their most affluent student body ever. And those parents are coming from places like Alpharetta, Johns Creek. They're coming from affluent areas and parts of Georgia. And right now we don't have the accommodation that really meets that base. So with that, our office remains dedicated towards being actively engaged in conversation about how we can get lodging in Milledgeville that meets the demand of our customer. And with that, we also know that the lodging footprint for this new hotel really needs to be within our downtown community. That's where the best opportunity exists. That doesn't mean we wouldn't be glad to see something somewhere else, but we know that downtown is really going to fit what the various needs are from multiple partners. And then on the investability side, when it comes to short-term vacation rental, as we have had so much conversation about that in our community, we've partnered with our research consultant to understand, do we have too many homes, not enough homes? And they still rank the investment in this community to be an A-, which is really a great thing. We know that we see it as our team's job to help grow revenue and demand. 40% occupancy, we would really love to see that be at 60%. That to me would be a healthy market. So there's room for growth there. But we know that opportunity when it comes to short-term rental is still relevant in Baldwin County. So kind of as we look at what's on the future, what's in the future and what's on the horizon for us, we know that the market is going to soften, like I said, in 2025. We've already seen it soften in 2024. And we just know that that's normal for mid-scale. It's happening nationally. But we also recognize that budget travel is now going to become a priority for Americans. The average American family invests about $5,000 a year in travel. And we know that they're going to be travel conscious. So that's where our team is talking about, the fact that Milledgeville really is positioned as a great value destination compared to other competitive sets. If you're looking for something historic, but you're willing to look somewhere outside of Savannah, Savannah's average daily hotel rate is now over $300 a day. Our average hotel daily rate is going to be about $125 a day. So that's where you can still have a great cultural experience, a great historic experience, but in a much more value conscious way. So we know a lot of our marketing language as we proceed in the next year or two will really lean into that. I want to share with you quickly the top 10 things that we really worked on as a team in 2024. We, of course, are tasked with marketing and public relations, so that's a big footprint of what we do. We launched a new advertising campaign this year. We did this in partnership with an agency called The Crew out of Augusta. They're known for working with Athens, Augusta, Georgia's Lake Country. We wanted something that felt a little bit younger, a little bit more vibrant. The customer that we're after is about 35 to 65 years old, and they make more than $100,000. So a lot of times the way we're talking about our community is that it's very vibrant, it's very youthful, it's very small town and charming. And with that, we wanted a campaign that really reflected that. Not only our historic and cultural assets, but also our culinary assets and our recreation assets. These are some of the places that you can spot our ads. So again, our organization is responsible for being the stewards of almost $1 million of our community's hotel motel tax money. We invest that in promoting travel predominantly to Georgia residents. They are our #1 traveler here to Baldwin County, but we also focus a lot on the Southeast, specifically Florida. If any of you are located along the lake, I'm sure you recognize that there are a lot of people from Florida that have relocated to this area recently. Not just because of the storms, but just in general, over the last few years, there's been a large relocation shift from the Florida market. We align our marketing efforts to bring people here from Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville. Number 2, we partnered a lot when it came to food photography this year. We recognize that the #1 thing that all travelers do when they enter our community is eat. And we recognize that we have a really robust offering of locally owned restaurants. We have more than 40 locally owned restaurants within our community. But when we partner with these locally owned restaurants, they don't necessarily always have the money to invest in assets that are going to help leverage them to national or Southeastern style audiences that we work with. So we decided to align with them this year, and we paid for high resolution photography for more than 16 locally owned businesses in our community. We plan to continue that good work into 2025. It's helping us earn media stories. It's helping us with advertising campaigns. And then, of course, we turn around and give these photography assets to the restaurants themselves. So they're using it to leverage their own presence on social media, their website. And I think it's one of those things that it's helping us, but it's helping them too. And together, we're kind of continuing to rise and elevate what we see happening in terms of culinary tourism. We are excited to say that this year we pioneered our very first video campaign on YouTube. YouTube is actually the #1 most active social presence in the world. Video is queen right now. And with that, we recognized that we needed to have more ownership in this space. YouTube has launched something called YouTube Shorts, which is really meant to be a competitor with TikTok. We already invest time and resources on YouTube. We do not invest in TikTok. But we wanted to go ahead and continue investing in the YouTube space. So this year we launched a video, and it was viewed by 77,000 people who were interested in potentially learning about Milledgeville and coming to Milledgeville. And if I can, I'm going to try to play it for you really quickly. That went smoother than the other day. Oh, it's not? Darn. It looks like it. Still now. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I can't figure out what I need to do to get it projected. That beat, it's lovely. Lots of lake stuff. It's nice. And a lot of people liked it. One of the things, oh, yes, please. I would welcome your help. Thank you.
Where's the video?
And actually outlink just to YouTube.
Oh, I know.
It's okay.
Yeah. Because it's even the other screen.
This just means you need to go onto YouTube
That's right.
and look for our
Thank you.
account and subscribe. Check out the good work that our marketing team is doing in that space. One of the things that we're really proud of for this year is we had our first ever collaborations with a public relations agency. That is as expensive as it sounds. And by this kind of surge of additional revenue, we were finally able to afford this style of partnership. And it really paid off for us. We earned more than 80 travel media stories in either Georgia or on a national scale with our partner, Pineapple Public Relations, which is used by like Augusta, Dahlonega, a lot of other travel destinations in Georgia. But with that, one of our biggest wins for the year was on the homepage of MSN. We partnered with the PR firm, and we partnered with Georgia College and State University, who's been a fantastic partner to us this year, to talk about Flannery O'Connor and her life in Milledgeville, and just the opportunity to come here and experience the community that inspired her. But with that, we also, we had publications in Georgia Trends, Southern Living. The prior year, we had 40 travel media stories, which honestly, I think for a small office in Milledgeville, Georgia, our team works really hard to produce a story almost weekly. So the fact that with the PR firm, we were able to get 80 plus articles earned was a tremendous success for us. We are looking forward to in 2025 partnering to get our story to the Charlotte, North Carolina market. We have a travel media event lined up where we'll go and do press briefings with about 20 different journalists to talk to them about Milledgeville and why people should come here. But even as recently as last week, we had a magazine publication out of Buckhead, Georgia, who had come, Buckhead, Atlanta, not actual Buckhead, Georgia, but who had come to do a travel story on us and liked Milledgeville so much. She also said, well, you know what? I write for Southern Living too, and we're going to cover you there. And she said, I write for Garden and Gun as well, and I'd love to pitch a story about Milledgeville to them. So in the travel journalist space, you never know what one story could potentially lead to. And when people like you, the powerful impact that that could have for additional media opportunities. I have become over the years, the more media buying I do, the less phased I am by how expensive it is. But, earning a space in something like Garden and Gun is incredibly expensive. One full page ad in Garden and Gun costs upwards of $50,000. So to have a story that we have not paid for has tremendous value. And these 80 plus articles that we earned last year, if it translated into us actually buying stories in these spaces, would be valued at over $1.5 million. So the fact that our team was able to earn that much in terms of media is really incredibly valuable. We also work a lot in the space of social influencer partnerships. These are people that have large followings on social media outlets. We partnered with someone specifically out of Atlanta this year, and in the first week of our collaboration with her, we had 5,000 people that friended us on Insta. Well, I guess it's not friending. I'm getting so old. I don't know what all these social terms are. I hit 40 this year, and I'm like, oh, you young people have to tell me. But we have 5,000 people that became followers on our Instagram channel just from this collaboration with this social influencer. We also partnered with Milledgeville's hometown boy, Logan Crosby, for a giveaway that was really successful, really well seen. We are constantly trying to get our messaging in our community before new audiences in a really positive way. And then just some quick metrics. On Facebook, we have 12,000 fans, Instagram, 13,000. And then we have more than 270,000 people a year that come to us for information on Milledgeville on our website. So let's talk about sales and services for just a couple minutes. We have been understaffed since 2020. And I'm so thrilled to be able to say we are fully staffed now. I'm so grateful. We hired a new sales manager position this year, and her name is Christina Tillman. She got married since we created this graphic, but she joined our team to work in recruiting sports tourism, to help with the film industry, to help with groups, weddings, any type of overnight lodging service group. And we're really excited to have her. She has already helped us to launch a lead tracking system so that when meetings or anything that's group related comes into our community, we have a way to be able to track that. She also has helped us with a customer retention database so that when people come, we can hopefully re-earn their business down the road. She's also helped us build a prospective client database. We want to be doing a lot more when it comes to student group travel. We recognize in the private school market that's something that's been really untapped by our community when it comes to field trips. We want people to send their children here for their Georgia history field trip. We're not quite as far as Savannah, and we're not as costly as Savannah. And we think Savannah's success can also be our success because it's become so expensive to go there. We can become a much more cost-friendly alternative. especially for some of these school organizations. And then she's also helped us to get on LinkedIn, which was, I had not been on LinkedIn. I am very satisfied. I am not looking for a job. I had not been on LinkedIn in years. They actually deactivated my account. So I had to set a new account up just to even to be able to see what she was doing on LinkedIn. But it's great. She's building good, positive exposure for us in that space to really be able to tell our story and talk more about the industry and not as much the marketing. And then we are invested this year in sports tourism. We think this has tremendous opportunity. Sports are recession proof, and it's a big part of what we think could be a successful plan forward for Baldwin County. With that, we launched last year a meeting sports and event grant fund. We set aside $20,000 in our office so that if someone was trying to bring an event here, we had some funding to actually offset them. Over half of that money was given this year to sports organizations. So we gave out about $10,000 this year to create $300,000 in economic impact. That was hotel nights and restaurant revenue. And some of those things include fishing tournaments. It includes bicycle ride across Georgia. And it includes our collaboration with Tom, of course, and the Georgia Cycling Association for what they do at Walter B. Williams. With that, Tom, he serves on our board of directors. He had let us know that Bike Walk Baldwin was partnering with Georgia Cycling Association to build new mountain biking trails. And we were fortunate enough to be able to be a sponsoring partner of that collaboration and be able to help give money towards that build out. And then next year, we are actually partnering to do a sports tourism strategic plan. So we're really excited about that. We brought in an independent consultant. He's going to be doing interviews with lots of people in the community. And we're happy to have that on the horizon to know how we might lead our community forward. Guys, I know we're getting tight on time. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be quick. We're focusing this year on really trying to also create conversion accounts. We have almost 300,000 people that visit our website a year, and that's wonderful. But our job in a lot of ways is, clearly to market and promote the community, but also to create real tangible economic impact for this community. And we're constantly trying to figure out, how do we know what we're actually driving and how do we know where we're creating revenue? So we partnered, if you've ever booked a hotel on like booking.com, kayak.com, we partnered with an online booking system called Right that actually is integrated into our website. It looks like it's ours, but it is a booking engine like that. Normally when a hotel partner partners with somebody like Kayak or booking.com, they give up a portion of their revenue for that booking service. Ripe allows us to pay that fee for them. So we are not asking them to pay for this service. We feel like it's something we can do in partnership for them to allow this opportunity on our site to understand how much revenue is being booked. Now, we launched this on September 1st, and we already know in just its first month, we've booked thousands of dollars of revenue. So the people that are coming to our site are actively booking hotel rooms in our community and short-term vacation rentals. So that was really great for us to see. We want to see more of that. And next year we'll work a lot more in that space to be helping people like GMC or GCSU to have affiliate links so that we can have a better measure of, how many rooms are being booked at Parents Weekend, how many rooms are being managed during alumni weekends. It's just going to help us have a much more tangible idea of what's happening in this community. And then this is just, something that was unexpected, but great to have. As I said, we launched this on September 1st, never realizing we would be using it for hurricane relief. So we used to, whenever a hurricane was coming and we knew that there were evacuation orders in place, we would call every hotel every few hours to see how many rooms they had left. We don't do that anymore because Right is booking in real time. And that's amazing. We were able to share that with our own emergency management agency here in our community to help get people quickly, safely to hotel rooms that were available in our community. And then when our hotel rooms sold out, which they did, when our hotel rooms sold out, we had lots of short-term vacation rentals that were options for families seeking safe harbor. So just something that was really wonderful to be able to offer for our community. And then film services. This year, we have been successful in securing a couple of different film projects to Milledgeville. The first one was a music video that we did for a group out of Orlando, Florida. They did that out at Central State Hospital at the River State Prison System Complex. They had all kind of like flamethrowers. They were like throwing fire in the air like 4 feet high. And you can guess what the fire marshal said about that when I called him. You know, it takes an act of Congress sometimes to get everybody together. And then we cannot share what it is. It will be out in January, but we partnered with a very well-known platform to do an unscripted television series that will air in January. And they went to a lot of different locations around Milledgeville. So we're really proud of that. We're excited for that project and to be able to officially announce what that is. It's been an interesting year for film with the writer's strike. There's been a lot of slowdown when it comes to actually generating content. So we know that 2025 is going to be really busy. We are trying to get ahead of that by, it's still kind of a slow season right now. No one wants to start a huge film project right before the holidays, right? Like we all want to be with our family. But we are trying to work in partnership with the state film office to do a kind of like a familiarization trip to get some of these location scouts to Baldwin County so that they can see what assets and resources we have during their downtime. So they'll keep that in mind for, you know, not only next year, but really for the future. And then the last piece, visitor services. We welcome more than 10,000 people a year into the Welcome Center. We have more than 5,000 people that take the trolley tour. This year, we are proud to expand programs. We offer children's programming regularly. And we also, for the first time, we're back on the campus of Georgia Military College with the State House Square walking tour. We are undergoing big building upgrades. Thank you to Exchange Bank. Y'all have been such lovely neighbors to us. But we are renovating our bathrooms. We have a new ADA compliant ramp that's coming for the exterior of our building. But more than anything, I'm excited to talk to you about how we reinvest revenues. I used to get a lot of questions about what do we do with all the money we make from the trolley, and I would laugh because the trolley is so expensive. It's like more than a Ferrari. What are you people talking about? But we have made the trolley a revenue generator. And with that, we donate 100% of the revenue that we generate back into our community, doing good things. It's not for our own benefit. It's for the benefit of Baldwin County. It's for the benefit of Milledgeville. We love our community and we love the work that we get to do out of our office. So, you know, whether it was giving some money to Lockerly and Lights, or whether it was helping to purchase something like our lodging feasibility study, the new sports strategic plan, or you see here we partnered for creative placemaking initiative with Morning Grind Coffee. 14,000 cars passed this spot a day. It needed to look a little bit better. And they were amazing partners. We love them. But you know, we are focused on reinvesting into the betterment of our destination. So when you take a trolley tour, I don't think this means as much to our visitors, but when you take a trolley tour, when you bring your family to take a trolley tour, just know we're taking that revenue that we earn and doing something really good for our community with it. So thank you for your support on that. We appreciate it. That is it. I'm sorry. I know I've gone over, but thank you for letting me hijack your lunch hour and talk to you about everything we do. We love Milledgeville, and clearly we're passionate about our space and what we do in it. So thank y'all for your support.
We have a lot of communities there. I love that so much. But not that.
Any other questions for Rebecca?
Y'all track RV rooms, RV spots, RV?
We don't, you know, RV is kind of interesting in our community because we have Little River Park and then we have Scenic Mountain. In Little River, so many of them are just like long-term, they really like long-term residents. We help people more at Scenic Mountain because that tends to have more availability, but we don't do a lot with actually tracking that. No.
Airbnb, y'all get any tax on that?
We do, yes. The state of Georgia mandated about a year and a half ago that Airbnb had to submit taxes back into the state of Georgia. We do, it's not much money. I mean, I think we get like $20,000
condos. It's not a ton from short-term rental, but we are glad because we do want to be able to promote and collaborate with them. And I've got, I'm
Yes.
standing here.
Yeah.
We do our chills.
All right, while Rebecca is signing her book, I'll just remind you all to get your candy to Erin. Or are there any other locations?
Crystal Law's
Crystal.
office and the chamber office.
Will you send a reminder out next week, see if I can bring it?
Yeah. Definitely.
Good. Good deal. All right. Come to Art in the Park, bring your kiddos tonight. Come to One in the Woods next week, not November 17th. Sorry about that. Okay, so it was me leading the meeting today, so I had to pull out a quote. So today's quote is from our own Paul Harris in 1944. He said, "There are no great fundamental differences between men and between nations. None are entirely good, none entirely bad. The great mischief maker is misunderstanding." Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.